We don't know it yet, but he will be dressed up like an Easter bunny. So.
Hey everyone, welcome to the channel. My name is Belgian Jasper. If this is your first time in the channel, hit subscribe right now.
Well, we've got all the guys of When Plagues Collide here together, all crammed together in a car right after you guys played on stage. So my first question has to be, how bad does this car smell right now?
Right now it's okay. I think in like 5 minutes we're gonna have to crack some windows open. Yeah. Pretty sure.
An Unbiblical Paradigm is the title of the album.
Yeah, correct.
What's the excitement level right now in the band for this new record coming out?
I guess we're more excited to share the music than we are to sit here all cracked together in the car. No, it's something to look forward to, obviously.
You guys, there's some other examples in Belgium. It seems like there's this new wave of deathcore happening right now. Deathcore, in its first wave, kind of came and went in the mid-2000s. And then everybody kind of assumed that, well, that's the end of deathcore. It's happening again now, especially in Belgium. We're seeing good traction as well, lots of new bands. You've been at this now for more than a few years. Are you also seeing that? You mentioned that, well, the crowd was great today, and, you know, they're always great. But are you seeing more people be open again to deathcore now than they were 4 or 5 years ago?
I think the only thing we're missing is the MySpace again, so yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I can definitely see more shows popping up. Yeah, some new bands, some new great bands. Yeah, I feel like it's coming to life again a little bit. It felt like it was dying over a period of time, and we're just on the rise again, it feels like.
Yeah.
Coming home, yeah.
Yeah, coming home.
Yeah. Now, on the global stage, you know, a great band that is kind of the prime example of this resurgence of deathcore is obviously Lorna that is, you know, getting so much traction right now and selling out, you know, entire tours before they play one note, which is great. What they do is something that you also do, is they're not afraid to experiment with their sound. And unlike the first, let's call it, wave of deathcore, bands that are getting traction now are bands that are incorporating progressive, avant-garde, and in your case, symphonic elements as well. There is a, you know, the style has evolved. And you know, I don't know, I expect that this whole new wave of bands might be called synthcore in the future or something like that. People tend to be creative with those labels. But where does that come from? Because you know, bands a couple of years ago would be much more inspired maybe by traditional old school death metal. I have a feeling there's at least one fan of Dimmu Borgir in this car right now, if you listen to the symphonic elements. Where does that come from?
It's pretty much happened at the start. Like, it's such a good combination, like classical music with metal. It's just, it sounds stupid, but it matches so great. And yeah, you can hear that in the deathcore songs. It's almost like it's supposed to be there, in my opinion.
Not on every song are those symphonic elements, both from an orchestration perspective, but also, you know, choirs we hear on some of the songs. Not on every song they are, you know, front and center, but throughout the album they're definitely a big part of the music. So how was that process for you guys? Like, you know, who takes care of the? I mean, on stage, none of you play classical instruments or what have you, as far as I know. So, you know, that orchestration, who takes care of that in the band?
I just write songs pretty much, and I tried. I
He can take the credits.
So I write the songs, and I try to keep in mind to leave some space for the orchestration.
Right.
That happens afterwards, like pretty much when the song is done, the guitars, the drums, everything, and then you start adding elements that like fit the song. Try not to be too much, of course. Yeah, just I leave some room for it. That's what I do, and I already have it in my head when I'm writing the riffs, and then I like start programming the orchestra.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Joris or a rhythm guitarist. He's also great on the piano. He played a few things in there. So yeah, it's not like we can't play orchestral instruments. We know our ways around the piano, and if you can play guitar, you can pretty much. I mean, yeah. Today, it's so easy today with the technology. Like, you don't even need keys. You can just fucking do it with your mouse. It's easy.
Right. If you then, as a 5-piece, bring that sound to life on a stage, in some way that can be a little limiting, where you've got additional music playing with you, doesn't always allow for you to improvise last second on stage. Is that sometimes a conversation in the band where it's like, well, we kind of now have to follow the blueprint that we've put on, and you can't do something unexpected, if you will, or what have you? Is that always a positive thing, or is it sometimes like it kind of holds us back a little bit?
No, of course. You do lose the freedom to freestyle. But it has never felt like this would have been a problem. Not at all. Actually, you just work around it. Have some interaction with the audience. During the songs, during the silences. No, I don't think we've ever had that conversation. Actually, do we?
I just feel that it's become more of like a normal thing in live shows, especially the deathcore scene, where every band's playing on a click track and with backing tracks.
Right.
So the songs almost sound the same, like how they recorded them. And
yeah, that's a positive thing, I think. Yeah. To be honest, like
structure.
Yeah, exactly.
It comes with the genre as well.
Yeah.
Because it's so technical and everything has to be like this.
Not too complex.
Yeah, but when we have like parts without the samples going, we can slow down or whatever. It does happen live with some parts.
Yeah.
So that's like way to
start the dance.
But it is limited. Of course.
It is very limited.
Yeah. Does that mean that on the bucket list for the band is playing a show with a live choir and orchestra at some point?
Definitely.
That would be very cool. Yeah.
It's kind of a dream. Yeah.
From a lyrical perspective as well, the themes that you guys use to tell your stories, and maybe a little bit, kind of aligned with that music. Again, unlike a lot of traditional deathcore bands, but more similar to symphonic black metal bands, symphonic death metal bands, you guys on this album, also on your previous album, use a lot of esoteric, occult themes to tell your stories. A similar question to the orchestration first, like, is that the inspiration of one particular person, like who in the band is clearly inspired by the occult?
Clearly inspired by the occult.
And how many goats and virgins have you sacrificed before the show? Just to ask the clear question.
No, actually, I'm always inspired by the news, by all things that happen. Could be anything, actually. I can hear anything on the radio, see something on the news, read something in the papers, have a conversation with anyone, and could be the start of the lyrics. Not everything is used. Depends on what Santi has written. But I think again, same answer. You have to feel it. This is right. This feels right on this kind of music. Is it the aggression? Is it sadness? Is it what kind of emotion? Could be anything.
Not to kind of do a 180 turn here while we're talking about very serious items, but you guys did, which I can only imagine. I wasn't there, obviously, because I'm calling you from Canada, but you guys seem to have played a hilarious show around Christmas time. And your album's coming out around Easter. Does that mean that on the album release show we're gonna see 5 people dressed in Easter bunny outfits?
Well, we don't know it yet, but he will be dressed up like an Easter bunny. So.
I think that's a very good thing, doesn't it? Isn't it?
No, we haven't really thought about that, I guess.
Now, I do obviously want to ask about one particular song that stands out for many ways on the new album. A song called In Alle Stilte, which is Dutch for basically, in silence or silenced, which is a direct sequel to a song on your previous album. What was it? Als Imperatieve Grootmacht. The song obviously stands out for a number of reasons. One, it's almost like spoken word over a more melancholic piece of music. Mm-hmm. It's also in Dutch, which is a unicum on the album, and seems to be rooted in deep sadness and melancholia. What's the story behind these two songs, and is this a story that we should expect to continue as the band releases more albums in the future?
I guess so. Yeah. The story behind Als Imperatieve Grootmacht is part of a fascination for death. Actually, nothing more, nothing less. In Alle Stilte is very personal. Not for me, but for Siebe, who just left. He has lost his brother last year on suicides. And it was one person after the other, and another one, and another one. So I thought we just have to let those people know. It might sound silly, but we have to let those people know that they're not alone. So in this song, in Alle Stilte, we have written the story, about Siebe's brother, and I'm basically took place at the funeral, but we've told the story from the perspective of his mom, I guess. I have children myself, so this felt just like we have to do something about this, just to support Steven as well. But yeah, it's true sadness. Can't be all aggression and
Indeed.
No, it's important, I guess. So that's the story behind In Alle Stilte.
Everybody in this world, no matter who you are, where you come from, in the last 2-3 years had to face some demons that you probably didn't even know you had before. More important than ever to spread this message, because it's something that seems to be coming back more and more, where people are, it's not just, okay, you can make a song about suicide, or you can make a song about, hey, it's okay to talk about stuff. In the hardcore, the deathcore, the metal scene, in the past, it was very often like, hey, we're all tough guys, and tough guys don't cry. And it seems that's transitioning to it's okay to cry even if you're a tough guy, in a ridiculously high level, summary of that.
Just off the record, we are tough guys.
I mean, clearly. But is that something that you agree with? That's something that that's a message you want to bring and you want to spread?
Yeah, of course, it's all part of life. It's all part of emotions, and that's what I was mentioning before. It can't be I'm fucking angry and I want to destroy everyone I see, and it's not all about blood and gore and death and whatever. You can talk about anything, anything. So yeah, I think this is an evolution we see every day, we face every day. Yeah, and that's a good thing, in my opinion.
You've got a busy year ahead of yourself. A new album is coming out. It's going to be a lot of fun. I hope to see you guys play on a stage, whether that's in Europe or if you guys make it across, that would be fantastic. I'll spend a good amount of time in Belgium this year anyways, so I hope to see you guys play. And I'm super excited for you to share more details on the album. I think it's a really strong and good album. No worries. Yeah, exactly. I hope you guys have a lot of fun still tonight. Go check out the last little bit of the show tonight, and I hope to see you guys on that stage really soon. Thank you so much for your time.
Likewise. Thank you.
Right. Cheers.
Bye.
You are awesome for watching this video. Click right here to see more content like it and subscribe to the channel.